Rain hammers against floor-to-ceiling windows. Lightning splits the Manhattan skyline in half. Inside the penthouse gallery, champagne glasses catch the warm glow of Edison bulbs hanging from exposed brick walls. Modern art pieces line white walls like silent witnesses. Mira stands near the bar wearing a charcoal blazer over a cream silk blouse, black trousers pressed sharp enough to cut. Her dark hair is pulled into a low bun. No jewelry except small silver hoops. She looks like she belongs in the background, which is exactly where she wants to be. Across the room, Julian Drake commands attention without trying. Tailored midnight blue suit, no tie, white shirt unbuttoned at the collar. His jaw is set like he's bracing for impact. Dark eyes scan the crowd with calculated disinterest. Mira checks her tablet. The art auction starts in 10 minutes. Her job is simple. Record bids, track buyers, stay invisible. Julian moves through the crowd like a shark through shallow water. People step aside. Whispers follow him. Billionaire. Untouchable. Dangerous. Then he stops, right in front of her. You work for Harrison? His voice is low gravel. Mira looks up. I coordinate his events. Not anymore. Her pulse spikes. Excuse me. Julian pulls an envelope from his jacket, slides it across the bar top. She opens it. Inside is a check. 6 figures. And a single sentence typed on letterhead. Your employment with Harrison Gallery is terminated effective immediately. What is this? Your way out, Julian says. Thunder rolls overhead. The lights flicker once. Harrison owes me, Julian continues, 3 years of favors. Tonight I'm collecting, and you're part of the payment. Mira's hands shake. You can't buy people. I just did. She stares at him. His expression doesn't change. No apology. No explanation. Why me? Because I need someone who knows how to disappear in plain sight, he says. And you've been doing that your whole life. Her breath catches. He knows. Somehow, he knows about her mother's debts. The collectors who won't stop calling. The eviction notice she's been hiding in her coat pocket for 2 weeks. What do you want? Julian leans closer. She can smell cedar and smoke. Pretend to be mine, he says. 6 months. Public only. After that, you walk away with enough money to vanish for real. Why would you need that? His jaw tightens. For a split second, something cracks behind his eyes. Because if I don't show up engaged by Monday, I lose everything I built. Mira should walk away, should throw the check back in his face. Instead, she hears herself whisper, "What are the terms?" Julian straightens, pulls out his phone, types something fast. Her phone buzzes. A contract, already drafted, already waiting. Read it tonight, he says. Sign it tomorrow. Or don't. Either way, Harrison's already been paid. He turns to leave. Wait. He stops. If I say yes, Mira says, voice steadier than she feels, this doesn't touch my life, my privacy, my choices. Julian looks back. Something unreadable crosses his face. Agreed. Then he's gone, swallowed by the crowd. Mira stands alone at the bar, checking one hand, phone in the other. Outside, lightning strikes again, and somewhere deep in her chest, she feels the ground shift beneath her feet. The restaurant is all dark wood and candlelight. Violins hum softly in the background. Mira sits across from Julian, wearing a burgundy dress he had delivered to her apartment that morning. Silk fabric, fitted bodice, sleeves that end just above her wrists. Her hair falls loose past her shoulders for the first time in years. Julian wears a charcoal 3-piece suit, crisp white shirt, silver cufflinks catching the flame light. He looks like old money and new danger. They're not alone. Across the table sit Julian's parents. His father, Richard, wears a navy suit and a skeptical frown. His mother, Vanessa, drips in pearls and judgment. Her gaze hasn't left Mira since they sat down. So, Vanessa says, swirling red wine, "You met at the gallery." Mira nods. "I was working the auction." How convenient. Vanessa's smile is thin as paper. Richard cuts his steak with surgical precision. And now you're engaged. 3 weeks later. Julian's hand moves across the table, covers Mira's. His touch is warm, steady, a lie wrapped in skin. When you know, Julian says, you know. Mira's heart pounds. She should pull away. Instead, she lets her fingers relax under his palm. Vanessa leans forward. What do your parents do, dear? The question lands like a knife. Mira's throat tightens. My father passed when I was young. My mother works in hospitality. Truth, wrapped in omission. Her mother cleans hotel rooms. Has for 20 years. And now she's drowning in medical bills Mira can't pay. I see. Vanessa's tone says everything her words don't. The waiter brings dessert. Conversation shifts to business. Mergers. Acquisitions. Things Mira doesn't understand and wasn't meant to. Then Richard says, the Hargrove contract closes Monday. Assuming, of course, their board approves. Julian's grip on Mira's hand tightens. Just slightly. They will, Julian says. Will they? Richard raises an eyebrow. Last I heard, James Hargrove wanted family stability. A serious commitment. Not a whirlwind romance with someone nobody's ever heard of. Silence drops like a curtain. Mira feels the weight of it. The test. The trap. She looks at Vanessa. Then Richard. Then she does something she didn't plan. I know what you think. Mira says, voice calm, clear. That I'm here for money. For status. That I'm not good enough. Vanessa's expression hardens. But I don't care what you think. Mira continues. I care about him. And if that's not enough for you, then this dinner is over. She stands. Julian stares at her, something unreadable flashing across his face. Vanessa opens her mouth, but Richard raises a hand. Sit down, Richard says. Mira doesn't move. Please, Richard adds. She sits. Slowly. Richard looks at Julian, then at Mira. Then he does something unexpected. He smiles. Maybe you're not what I expected, Richard says. But you've got spine. I'll give you that. Vanessa looks like she's swallowed glass. The rest of dinner passes in brittle politeness. Later, outside the restaurant, rain mists the sidewalk. Mira stands under the awning, waiting for the car. Julian steps beside her, hands in his pockets. Silent. That wasn't part of the script, he finally says. I know. You didn't have to defend me. Mira looks at him. Really looks. Past the suit. Past the control. And she sees it. The exhaustion. The weight of expectations he never asked for. Yes, she says quietly. I did. Something shifts in his eyes. The car pulls up. The driver opens the door. But before they get in, Julian's phone buzzes. He checks it. His entire body goes rigid. What? He doesn't answer. Just shows her the screen. It's a photo. Mira and Julian. Taken tonight outside the restaurant. Already posted. Already viral. The caption reads, Billionaire Julian Drake's mystery fiancé. Who is she really? Underneath, someone has dug up an old photo. Mira at 16, standing outside a women's shelter with her mother. Her stomach drops. They know, she whispers. Julian's jaw sets. It doesn't matter. It will. He looks at her, and for the first time, she sees something raw behind the mask. Then we make sure they can't use it, he says. How? Julian's expression darkens. We go deeper into the lie. Julian's apartment is nothing like Mira imagined. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlook the city. Minimalist furniture. Steel and glass. Cold edges everywhere. She stands in the living room wearing jeans and an oversized sweater, hair tied back. It's 2 a.m. The city glitters below like scattered diamonds. Julian paces near the window. He shed the suit jacket, rolled his sleeves to his elbows, loosened his collar. For the first time, he looks human, breakable. The press won't stop, he says. Not until they find something that destroys you, or me, or both. Mira sits on the edge of the couch. So what do? We give them a story they can't twist. He stops pacing, looks at her. Move in here. Her breath catches. That wasn't the deal. The deal changed the moment they dug into your past. This is my life, Julian, not a contract negotiation. I know. His voice softens. But if we don't control the narrative, they will. And trust me, their version won't be kind. Mira stands, crosses her arms. Why does this matter so much to you? The Hargrove deal? The image? All of it. Julian's jaw tightens. He turns toward the window. My brother, he says quietly. Mira waits. He built this company with me. 10 years. Every risk. Every late night. Every fight with our father. Julian's reflection stares back at him in the glass. 2 years ago, he died. Car accident. And in his will, he left one condition. What condition? That I maintain controlling interest. That I prove I can lead without him. That I don't let our father take over and destroy everything we built. His voice cracks just slightly. The Hargrove deal is a final piece. If I close it, I'm untouchable. If I don't, the board votes. And my father wins. Mira's chest tightens. She sees it now. The weight he carries. The ghost he's chasing. So this isn't about money, she says. It never was. Silence fills the space between them. Mira steps closer. If I do this, if I move in, we set boundaries. Real ones. Julian nods. Whatever you need. I sleep in my own room. I keep my job searching. And when this ends, you don't follow me. Agreed? She exhales. Okay. I'll do it. Something shifts in Julian's expression. Relief. Gratitude. Something else she can't name. 3 weeks pass. Mira's things fill the second bedroom. Her books on the shelves. Her coffee mug in the kitchen. They fall into a rhythm. Breakfast in silence. Evenings reviewing talking points for interviews. Public appearances that feel rehearsed but look effortless. The press eats it up. Then everything shatters. It's a Thursday. Mira comes home early from a meeting. The apartment is dark except for the light in Julian's office. She hears voices. One is Julian's. The other is a woman's. Mira freezes in the hallway. You can't keep pretending, the woman says. Her voice is familiar. Soft. Intimate. I'm not pretending, Julian replies. Yes, you are. With her. With all of this. Julian, she's not Alyssa. She never will be. Mira's blood turns to ice. Alyssa, the name Julian never mentioned. The ghost he never named. Don't, Julian says, voice tight. You loved her, the woman continues. And she's gone. But this girl you're parading around? She's just a stand-in. A convenient distraction. Vanessa, stop. Mira's heart stops. Vanessa, his mother. I raise you better than this, Vanessa says. You're using that poor girl to fill a void that can't be filled. And when you're done, you'll throw her away like you do everything else. Mira steps back. Her heel hits the floor. The voices stop. The door opens. Vanessa appears first. She sees Mira. Her expression doesn't change. Just cold satisfaction. Apologies, Vanessa says. I didn't realize you were home. She walks past without another word. Julian stands in the doorway. His face is pale. Mira. She can't breathe. Who's Alyssa? Julian closes his eyes. It's not what you think. Then tell me what it is. He doesn't answer. Tell me. Her voice cracks. She was my brother's fiancée, Julian finally says. And after he died, I couldn't save her either. Mira stares at him. What does that mean? She spiraled. Depression. Pills. I tried everything. Put her in treatment. Stayed with her. Promised her I'd help her through it. His voice breaks. But she didn't want help. She wanted him back. And 6 months later, she was gone too. Tears burned Mira's eyes. And I'm what? Your second chance. No. Then what am I? Julian looks at her. And for the first time, she sees it. The truth beneath the lie. I don't know anymore, he whispers. The silence that follows is deafening. Mira turns, walks to her room, starts packing. Julian appears in the doorway. Don't. I'm not your redemption project. I know. I'm not her replacement. I know. Then what am I to you? She spins around, tears streaming. What is any of this? Julian steps forward, and before she can move, he pulls her close. His forehead rests against hers. I don't know what you are, he says, voice raw, but I know I can't lose you. Mira's breath hitches, and then he kisses her. Not for cameras, not for appearances. Just them, in the dark, alone. When he pulls back, his eyes search hers. Stay, he whispers. But before she can answer, her phone rings. She pulls away, checks the screen. Unknown number. She answers. Hello, is this Mira? Yes. This is Mercy General Hospital. Your mother's been admitted. You need to come now. The hospital smells like disinfectant and fear. Fluorescent lights hum overhead. Mira sits in a plastic chair outside the ICU wearing the same sweater from earlier, hair tangled, mascara smudged. Julian stands beside her. He drove her here. Didn't ask permission. Just grabbed his keys and followed her out the door. A doctor emerges, clipboard in hand. Exhausted eyes. Miss Chun? Mira jumps up. How is she? Stable. For now. The doctor glances at his notes. But she needs surgery. Heart valve replacement. Without it, she is maybe 3 months. Myra's legs nearly give out. Julian's hand finds her elbow. How much? Mira asks. With her insurance? Around $200,000 out of pocket. The number hits like a fist. I can't, Mira whispers. I don't have that. There are payment plans. Charity programs. How long do those take? The doctor's silence is answer enough. Mira sinks back into the chair. Her mother is dying, and she can't save her. Julian crouches in front of her. I'll cover it. No. Mira. I said no. She looks at him, tears streaming. I won't owe you my mother's life. You don't owe me anything. Yes, I do. That's the whole point of this. The contract. The deal. Everything. Her voice breaks. I can't blur the lines anymore, Julian. I can't. He stares at her, something fierce and desperate in his eyes. Then don't think of it as a debt, he says. Think of it as what it is. Someone who cares about you helping someone you love. You don't care about me. You care about the image. The deal. That's not true, isn't it? Julian stands, runs a hand through his hair. For the first time, he looks lost. 3 months ago, he says, you were right. I needed a shield, a distraction, a way to keep the board from controlling my life. He turns back to her. But somewhere between the lie and now, it stopped being pretend. Myra's breath catches. I don't know when it happened, Julian continues. Maybe the night you stood up to my parents. Maybe the morning I found you reading on the couch with coffee going cold in your hand. Maybe every small moment in between. He kneels again. I level, but I know this. I don't want you to leave, and it has nothing to do with contracts. Mira can't speak. Let me help her, Julian says softly, not as a transaction. As someone who wants you to have more time with the person you love most. Tears blur her vision. Before she can answer, footsteps echo down the hall. A man in an expensive suit approaches. Mid-50s. Cold eyes. He stops in front of Julian. Mr. Drake. Julian stands. His entire body tenses. Hargrove. James Hargrove. The man whose deal decides everything. I heard about your fiancé's mother, Hargrove says, glancing at Mira. My condolences. Thank you, Mira manages. Hargrove turns back to Julian. Walk with me. It's not a request. Julian hesitates. Looks at Mira. Go, she says quietly. He follows Hargrove down the hall. They stop near a window overlooking the parking lot. I'm going to be direct, Hargrove says. I've been watching you, Drake. Your engagement. Your sudden public transformation. And I have to admit, I was skeptical. Julian's jaw tightens. And now I'm certain. Of what? That it's a performance. Hargrove's smile is sharp. A very good one, but a performance nonetheless. Julian doesn't flinch. What do you want? Honesty. Hargrove crosses his arms. I don't care if you love her or if she's a strategic move. I care about results. Stability, control, and right now you have all three. He leans closer. But if I find out you're lying to me, if this falls apart before the ink dries on our contract, the deal's off. Permanently. Julian's fists clench. Understood. Hargrove starts to walk away, then stops. One more thing, he says. Your father came to see me yesterday. Julian's blood goes cold. What? He made an interesting offer. Said if I partner with him instead, he'd guarantee twice the returns. Said you're too distracted, too emotional, that you've lost focus chasing ghosts and girls. Julian's world tilts. I told him no, Hargrove says. For now, but I'm watching Drake. One wrong move, and I'll take his offer. He leaves. Julian stands alone in the hallway, heart pounding. His father is sabotaging him, using his own grief, his own choices, turning them into weapons. He walks back to Mira. She's still sitting, still waiting. What did he want? She asks. Julian looks at her, and he realizes something. He has to choose. The deal, or the truth, control, or her. Mira, he says, voice steady despite the storm inside him. I need to tell you something. Before he can continue, his phone rings. He checks the screen. His assistant. He answers. What? Sir, you need to see the news. Right now. Julian opens his browser. The headline hits like a bomb. Breaking. Julian Drake's engagement is sham. Sources confirm contract arrangement. Below it, a photo of the contract. The one Mira signed. The one that was supposed to stay private. Leaked. Julian's vision blurs. Who did this, he breathes. Mira leans over. Sees the screen. Her face drains of color. No, she whispers. Julian's phone explodes. Calls. Texts. Emails. The board. Investors. Press. And then one name flashes across the screen. Dad. Julian answers. What did you do? Richard's voice is calm. Cold. What I had to. You forced my hand, son. You leaked the contract. I protected this family. You were going to throw everything away for some girl. She's not just some girl. Then what is she? Richard's voice rises. Because from where I'm standing, she's exactly what that contract says. A hired actress, a shield, a lie. Julian looks at Mira. She's staring at him, broken, betrayed. You did this, Richard continues. You chose her over legacy, over family, over everything your brother died building. Julian's hand shakes. Don't you dare use him against me. Then prove me wrong. End this. Come home. Save the company before it's too late. The line goes dead. Mira stands, walks toward the exit. Where are you going? Julian asks. She doesn't turn around. Somewhere you can't follow. 3 days later, the boardroom is all glass and steel. 20 faces stare at Julian across a mahogany table. His father sits at the far end, arms crossed, expression unreadable. Julian stands at the head of the table wearing a black suit, white shirt, no tie. He looks like a man who hasn't slept. Because he hasn't. Gentlemen, Richard says, voice smooth, we're here to vote on leadership. My son has proven himself incapable of separating personal matters from professional responsibility. The leaked contract confirms what we've all suspected. He's compromised. Murmurs ripple through the room. Julian doesn't move. Therefore, Richard continues, I'm calling for an immediate vote. Transfer controlling interest to me. Effective today. Seconded. Another board member says. Richard looks at Julian. Any objections? Julian meets his father's eyes. Yes. The room goes silent. Julian steps forward, pulls a folder from his briefcase, slides it across the table. What's this? Richard asks. Proof, Julian says, that you've been siphoning funds from company accounts for 2 years. $12 million. Funneled through offshore accounts. hidden under shell corporations. Richard's face goes white. I've known for months, Julian continues, voice cold and steady. I just needed confirmation, which I got 3 days ago when you leaked that contract. You used company resources to hire a private investigator, left a digital trail. He looks around the room. Everything's in that folder. Transactions, dates, bank statements. Enough to send him to prison. The board erupts. Richard stands. You're bluffing. Am I? Julian leans forward. Test me. Richard's jaw works. Fury and fear warm behind his eyes. You destroy your own father? You destroyed yourself, Julian says quietly. I'm just making sure you don't take the company down with you. Silence. Richard looks around the room, sees the judgment, the shock, the betrayal. He grabs his coat, walks to the door, stops. You'll regret this, he says without turning around. I already do, Julian replies, but not for the reasons you think. Richard leaves. The door closes. Julian addresses the board. The Hargrove deal is dead. He pulled out this morning. But I have 3 other contracts lined up. Bigger, better. And they don't require me to pretend to be someone I'm not. He picks up his briefcase. I'm taking a leave of absence. 2 weeks. When I come back, we'll rebuild. Together. Or I'll step down and let someone else lead. He looks at each face. But I won't do it my father's way. Not anymore. He walks out. The city is gray when Julian steps outside. Rain threatens but hasn't fallen yet. He gets in his car. Drives. Not to his apartment. Not to the office. To the hospital. Mira's mother is in recovery. Surgery went well. Julian made sure of it. Paid for everything. Didn't ask permission. Didn't expect thanks. But Mira isn't there. A nurse tells him she hasn't been back in 2 days. Julian's chest tightens. He tries her phone. Voicemail. He goes to her old apartment. The landlord says she moved out. No forwarding address. Panic sets in. Then he remembers. The art gallery, where they first met. He drives across the city. Parks illegally. Runs inside. The gallery is quiet. Only a few people wandering between paintings. And there, standing in front of a massive abstract canvas, is Mira. She wears jeans, a gray sweater, hair down. She looks small, tired, beautiful. Julian stops a few feet away. How did you find me? She asks without turning around. You told me once this was the only place you felt calm. She turns. Her eyes are red. Why are you here, Julian? Because I made a choice. What choice? You. He steps closer. I chose you. Over the deal. Over my father. Over everything. Mira's eyes fill with tears. You shouldn't have. Why not? Because I'm not worth it. Julian closes the distance between them, takes her hands. You are worth every risk I took, every burned bridge, every lost contract. His voice breaks. You are worth more than any deal I could ever make. Julian, I love you, he says. Raw, honest, terrified. I don't know when it happened. I don't know how. But I do, and I can't keep pretending I don't. Mira stares at him, tears streaming down her face. The contract, she whispers. Void. Destroyed. Gone. He pulls a lighter from his pocket, pulls out a folded paper. The original contract. He flicks the lighter, sets it on fire, lets it burn in his hand until only ashes remain. There's no deal, no arrangement. Just this. Just us. If you want it. Mira can't breathe. What about everything you lost? I didn't lose anything that mattered, Julian says. The only thing that matters is standing right in front of me. She searches his face, looking for the lie, the angle, the manipulation. But all she sees is truth. I'm scared, she admits. Me too. What if we destroy each other? Then we rebuild. He lifts her hand to his chest. Together, Mira closes her eyes, feels his heartbeat beneath her palm, and she makes her choice. She kisses him, not for cameras, not for appearances, not for contracts or deals or anyone watching, just for them. When they pull apart, Julian rests his forehead against hers. "What now?" she asks. "Now," he says, "we figure it out, one day at a time. No scripts, no performances, just real." Mira smiles through her tears. "I can do real." "Yeah, yeah." Outside, rain finally falls, soft and steady. Inside the gallery, two people stand together in front of art they'll never fully understand. But they don't need to, because sometimes the most beautiful things are the ones you can't explain. 6 months later, Myra's mother walks out of rehab, healthy, strong, alive. Julian launches a new company, smaller, his own terms. And Mira, she goes back to school, finishes her degree, opens her own gallery. They don't live together. Not yet. But every morning, Julian brings her coffee. And every night, she tells him one true thing about herself. No contracts, no conditions. Just two broken people learning to be whole. Together. The end.